people? How's everybody doing out there on YouTube? I'm here. I want to make my review of last night's Walking Dead episode, which was episode 10 of season 4, titled Inmates. So, I gotta give a huge shout out to Robert Kirkman. I've never been engrossed into a season series like I have been with Walking Dead. And I'm somebody who came from watching Game of Thrones, Dexter, Spartacus, and those are awesome series, but something that has captivated me from the very get has always kept... Each episode seems to keep me standing up on the edge of my chair. So this is something that is just bananas. And by the way, spoiler alert, if you guys or any of you guys have not seen yesterday's episode, turn it off, turn away, and come and see my video review right after you see episode 10. Alright, so yesterday's episode started out with Beth and Daryl there in the wilderness by a campfire, and Beth is telling Daryl, well, there are survivors. We got to go look for them. We got to do something. You know, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to use your tracking skills, then I'm going to go off. So Beth takes off and Daryl follows, which I had to see the episode like 2 or 3 times last night to really captivate what was going on, because I was just getting phone calls, which is a no-no. I hate people interrupting me when Walking Dead is on or people knocking or something. So they was actually tracking Tyrese and the girls. And I didn't notice this till like the second time I watched the episode. I saw the dead bunnies, and which is not to get off track and off the review, but Lizzie, oh my God, she is nuts. Like, this little girl scares me. She's really terrifying. Like, she killed those bunnies without, I don't know, but I thought, you know, it would be for food, but I'm thinking, you know, it was just for delight and for fun and for pleasure. So they're getting chased, and they're standing still, and walkers are coming at them. The baby Judith is crying. I know you guys must have thought the same thing that I thought. Like, she is smothering Judith's mouth and nose. Like, the baby's hands are like trying to pull her hands off. I'm like, oh my God, is this actually going to go down on cable TV? But I thought for a split second, this is impossible. She was just trying to shut her up, which that little girl is nuts. But that's neither here nor there. This is just why Walking Dead is great. Anything, for the most part, is going to go, and anybody could die at any moment. Alright, so it picks up where much people already understood. A lot of people were talking to me on Google Plus and on Twitter. Is Baby Judith dead? And I was like, because I saw a few reviews and I saw a few pictures on some forums, and which had Tyrese with the baby. There was like an overpass, and Tyrese looked like he was running with something cradled in his arms, and there was Baby Judith. So it was a bunch of reveals last night, and I loved each and every single one of them. That was the reveal, the first one where Tyrese turns around and he's holding Baby Judith. That was great, because a lot of people thought she was dead, and boom, here you go, first reveal. So then they meet up with those other people at the train tracks. What was going on? I guess some other survivors, and Tyrese just goes bananas on those walkers, like with the hammer. He just started walloping, and it amazes me how many survivors are just getting killed. There's so much death in this season. It's just amazing. Like, those zombies, excuse me, correct terminology, those walkers was just, they killed those 2 survivors, and pretty much what they told them was, stay on the tracks. There's a sanctuary if you keep straight. Their mistake was that they got off the track, but stay on the tracks and it'll lead you to the sanctuary. So right there, another reveal is shown. As it pans to Lizzie and Mika, right behind them is Carol. I'm like, oh my God, Carol! Like, I didn't expect her in the slightest. I was like, maybe further along in the season, or maybe next season, and maybe she'll die. So that was another reveal which was spectacular. And I believe the next biggest surprise was Glenn. Everybody thought Glenn was dead, which I pretty much knew Glenn was not dead. He wasn't on the bus, you know. So Maggie goes with Bob and Sasha, who's like the biggest bitch. Like, I don't know, this girl is like so wound up, so tight that she can't even fart. Her character I don't like too much. In my opinion, and maybe my prediction, I think that she's gonna bite one pretty soon and probably get killed. So So Maggie, she's like, listen, guys, you guys can stay here overnight. This is a good spot position for you. I'm gonna go look for Glenn. And which Bob, you know, I love Bob's thought pattern because he was like, yeah, we could stay here and survive, but what does surviving mean if we can like pretty much look for the people that we love and the people who we care for? It means nothing to survive alone. So he pretty much took and ran right after Maggie, and Sasha had no choice in the matter. She followed. Then they finally got to the bus. They see the bus from a distance, and Maggie is like, I gotta know, like she's gotta know. She walks by the side of the bus. She sees all those walkers, so they start letting out a walker at a time, and they got overpowered. All those walkers jumped off the bus, and they had to kill all of them, Bob and Sasha, and that was crazy because I would want to know if a lot of people were like, he's dead. He would be dead. Glenn is dead inside the bus. He turned. And I like it when, especially, they got into the bus. Maggie got in the bus, and she killed one of the walkers in there. And from behind, it looks like Glenn. Because I thought that, too. And I was like, but I knew that Glenn wasn't dead. So, and then she did an excellent job of acting. She started crying. And then all of a sudden, she had like a smirk or a smile on her face. Like, because I guess she finally knew right at that point that he's alive, He's alive. He's out there. So then they get coming back from commercial break. You see Glenn like laying by the tower, and his rifle is hanging off, and you see the walkers like trying to reach at him from the bottom. So he decides he goes back into the prison. He gets his riot gear. This is Glenn in riot gear. He got his rifle, and he goes outside. And it was just crazy because he just ran through like 30 or 40 zombies. I'm like, yo, this guy's crazy. And I like it because I saw some of the interviews on The Walking Dead, how they actually, I think it was on The Talking Dead, how they filmed that scene. And they actually had Glenn's helmet, riot gear helmet, and a camera behind it. So it was going through all these zombies. So it was like looking at his POV, his point of view, at him bum rushing through all these zombies. And that was crazy. And then he passes Tara. He had the chance to take off, but he like stops and he's like, wait a minute, let me see what's up with her. She actually had bullets in her gun. So, they devised a plan to get out of there. He's like telling her, I don't want to need you. I don't want to have the need for you to help me, but I need you, like, come on. So they just took off, and then they finally encountered some walkers out the prison, and Glenn was just so tired. He's just been so tired. I guess he was with that infection and that was going on earlier in the season. So he was still feeling weak from the effects of that. So he just fell down, and you see Tara like bashing in the zombie's head. Like, I'm like, oh my god! Like, the amount of gore in this season is just crazy. Like, they keep bashing in. They already bashed in the skull. They keep bashing in. It's just crazy. So like, she looks up, and there's this huge army truck. And it's crazy because she's like yelling at the truck, all right, assholes, like, I hope I put on a good show for you. So they finally come out. It's, guess who's there? Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita. And they look identical. That pose they did, like, they were side by side, all three of them. That's exactly from, I don't know how many of you guys follow the comic, but that's from, I believe, comic book issue number 53 of The Walking Dead. They are doing and striking the same pose. I guess, the directors wanted to make it seem, like, for we could identify who they were, at that point. So, but it was funny, like how they was all three standing together in that pose. And for you, all of you who follow the comic, you know what I'm talking about. They're on the front cover of Walking Dead issue number 53. So it's the same way that Abraham is holding up his rifle, and Eugene is with the walkie-talkie. It's just amazing. But this episode was pretty good because it starts unveiling now what's taking place. They're about to go, and this is what I'm thinking. They're all gonna meet up at this terminal place, Terminex, I believe it is. The sign said on the railroad, "Come to Sanctuary and you will live," something like that. I believe it's what it said. So it leads me to believe, and I think this is where Negan is hanging out, and this is where they're all at. So somehow everybody's road is gonna lead to that sanctuary, and what goes down there, I don't know, because the comics dictate one thing and then the TV show goes another way. So they're similar in quite a few things, but they're very, different from each other. So what will take place? What are your predictions, guys? What do you see? Let me know on the comments down below. So I can't wait till next week's episode. What goes down and what takes place there. So listen, guys, follow me, subscribe, comment. Let's make this channel take off. I love and I enjoy doing all these videos for you guys. So Walking Dead lovers, Walking Dead fanatics, yo, click and subscribe to the yellow button below, and I will see you in the next video, guys.